Welcome to the belay training from the Greater St. Louis Area Council Challenge Course and Climbing Committee. In this video, we'll review the proper technique for belaying at all ground anchor belay stations, which are located at all of our climbing towers and challenge courses. This is the method used throughout our program, and it's built on safety, consistency, and simplicity. Let's review the hardware. The system includes a figure-8 belay device, a locking carabiner, a permanent cable loop with thimble, and a ground anchor rated to withstand 2,500 pounds of pull-out force. Belay technique may vary slightly depending on the belayer's experience, height, or personal style, but watching experienced belayers is a great way to develop your own approach. But no matter what your style, there are fundamentals that every belayer must follow. First, let's talk about your hands. One hand is always the brake hand. This will be the hand that you place closest to the figure-8 belay device. It doesn't matter if it's your right or left hand, whichever works best for you, but that brake hand never leaves the rope while the climber is off the ground. You simply slide that hand along the rope without letting go. And your hands should never cross while belaying. This ensures that your brake hand never leaves the rope. And leather palm gloves are always required, both for the belayer and the backup belayer. Applying the brake. When you're not taking up slack in the rope, you're always in the brake position, ready to hold a fall. Braking is achieved by bending the rope where it exits the figure-8 and holding on securely. That bend in the rope has tremendous holding power, and it actually does most of the work. You need to keep the rope taut and stay in the brake position whenever the climber isn't moving, which actually is most of the time. Keep slack in the rope to a minimum. If the climber is moving too fast for you to keep up, then take control and shout to the climber to stop until you can pull out the remaining slack, and then simply instruct them to climb slower if needed so that you can keep up. Let's review your position. You stand centered on the belay device so that you should be able to brake without needing to move your feet, and you need to keep your eyes on the climber at all times. And remember, belaying can be physically demanding. So instead of relying only on your arms to pull the rope, use your legs and body to help pull the rope as the climber ascends. And finally, the backup belayer. The backup belayer is not optional. You must have a backup for every climb, no matter what. They stand behind the ground anchor so that the rope forms a straight line from the climber to the anchor to the backup belayer. And the rope must never wrap around the primary belayer to reach them. The backup belayer always wears gloves and keeps both hands on the rope, and they need to be ready to take over if something happens to the primary belayer. So as such, they need to make sure that there isn't too much slack between the figure-8 belay device and themselves. But yet, they shouldn't be so tight that the backup belayer is pulling rope out of the hands of the belayer. Think of that smile on the Amazon logo. That's about the right amount. That's it. Let's recap these points. Your brake hand is always on the rope and simply slides along without letting go. Keep the rope taut and apply the brake whenever the climber stops, always ready to hold a fall. You stand next to the belay so that you don't need to move your feet to apply a brake. Use your body, not just your arms, to pull the rope, and always have a backup belayer, ready to hold a fall if needed. That's it. Follow these points and you'll be an effective and safe belayer. Stay alert, stay consistent, and most of all, stay safe. Thanks for being part of the team and making a difference. Off belay.